Hi folks, I hope you're all doing well. So this is the first video of a series of videos which I'm going to be doing this week. And for a while now, the angels, spirit, the universe, whichever you want to say, I work with the angels mainly, so I do believe it is them that gives me this information. But they've been encouraging me to do more videos of what I've been through, how it's affected me, and how you can overcome it. Okay. So this week I'm going to be doing videos about living with a narcissist, anxiety and depression, fear, grief, forgiveness, and anything else that they pop in last minute. Okay. So tonight, what I want to discuss and really just talk about is anxiety and depression. And I was considering doing two separate videos for those, but I do feel that they go hand in hand for a lot of people, and they certainly did me. And it's almost like when you've got anxiety and depression, it's overwhelming and underwhelming all at the same time, if that makes sense. Because with anxiety, it's like your nerves are on end and you feel everything so much, you fear everything, you're just like worried about everything. And depression sort of dulls your emotions, you just can't be bothered, it like dampens down everything. And to have them both at the same time, or one of each, it's still equally as crap for everybody that suffers from it. And you have my full, I don't want to say sympathy because I'm not doing these videos for sympathy. I want to say you have my full compassion. And I am doing these videos so you know you're not alone and you can overcome them, okay? I've never been the most confident person in the world, and I've always been quite happy to be behind the scenes or whatever. But up until my dad passed away in 2007, and I left my abusive partner following 2 miscarriages and continual trauma and hurt, okay? I didn't have the panic attacks, I didn't have the anxiety attacks, and I didn't have the depression. They came straight after. In fact, I can tell you the exact point I started experience anxiety, and it was the morning of my dad passing. So he passed at 8 o'clock the night before. We, as a family, didn't hear till 1 o'clock in the morning because he was away working, and I was awake because those powers that be had me awake at that time when the police phoned me. And it was a few hours later, I was getting pains in my chest, and I honestly thought there was something wrong with me. And at 8 o'clock the night before, I also found out I was pregnant. So with these pains in my chest, knowing I was pregnant too, I did take myself to the doctors, and they put me on diazepam. Said it was a natural thing of the shock of losing somebody and all the anxiety and the fears that come with it. I was still with my partner at that time, and that relationship ended shortly afterwards. In fact, a year to the day I left him. That's when I finally got the strength to cut those ties. But so I was having the anxiety then. I went into a bit of depression, but because of being in the abusive relationship, I had to keep fighting it. I couldn't really admit to it because I was constantly told to pull myself together. You can't be like that. What are you being like that for? I didn't know whether I was coming or going, to be quite honest. It was all a bit of a blur. I have no idea. I just remember the emotions and the feeling of being almost paralysed by the fear of the future, the fear what was going on, what was going to happen. And also, and that was the anxiety talking, but then the depression was I didn't have the strength or energy or inclination to do anything about it. I was in that black hole and I couldn't see a way out. I just didn't know what to do. Okay. I've had bouts of anxiety and depression since then. It really hit me hard when I left my partner. And I really just wanted to hide from the world. It was, please just hide me. I don't want to see the world. I don't want the world to see me. I just didn't want to exist, actually. And then that continued, and I would think I was picking myself up and things were working out, and I was throwing myself into work, keeping myself as busy as possible. And I did this twice, 3 times actually. The third time I knew what was coming though. And I had 2 breakdowns. I fell apart, I pushed myself to the point where my body said no, and it would hit me again and I couldn't function. I thought I was having heart attacks again because I was getting pains in my chest. I didn't want to see anybody. I just wanted to hide. So it's been a bit of a roller coaster because I've picked myself up and then I've been back down again. And the third time I knew I was coming to this, and it was about 3 years ago, and I knew I was exhausted. I was getting those pains in the chest again, and I was like, what do I do? So I was at rock bottom really, but before I got below rock bottom, I went to the doctors, I got signed off work. I was knew I needed to do something about it. And I stopped hiding from the past. That was a big thing. I stopped throwing myself into the work. I physically could not go and do a 9-to-5 job. I couldn't do anything. I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just didn't want to function with real life. But I kept pushing myself and the angels kept pushing me. I've had a massive support network from the angels. I've had my family around me, and I've just kept going. And then I've been having I'm very aware of my emotions now, and if I need time on my own and back, I do that before stuff starts to affect me again. To be honest, the last year I've been very stable and don't really have those down days. But I am very aware if they're coming, and I do need to take rest, because if I get overly tired, that's when shit starts to happen. But because I was pushing myself and hiding from all that, the moment I decided to face it and start the healing process and really have a lot of realizations and figuring stuff out, knowing stuff wasn't my fault, and all sorts. The list is endless of the healing that I've gone through, and I know 100% that it is not easy. And when I am helping people through readings and through the mentoring and the coaching, I know it's not easy, but I've been there, and I can tell you and I can guide you myself through, because what I've been through, and the angels will guide you and help you. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. You can actually get out there. And never in all my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would do a live video on here for a start. But I do them now and I don't even worry about it. So I've gone from not wanting to leave the house to speak to one single person to quite happy to sit and chat to anybody. I didn't do one-to-one readings for a long time. I just hid behind the computer. So I've really come a long way. Sometimes it's been 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Then other times it's been bigger shifts. And now I'm doing the live videos, one-to-one readings. I really haven't got any anxiety issues anymore. I haven't got any depression. I've dealt with the shit, which has been a hard struggle, and I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but what I want to, because I've told you this, what I'm wanting you to know is that you can come through the other side of it and you can do it. And now I'm quite happy to even stand in front of an audience and talk. So I've actually come through such a journey that I'm now better, confidence wise, without the anxieties and fear and like panic attacks. I'm better than I was before all the crap happened. I'm actually more confident. I'm a stronger person. And so your crap does make you stronger. It can make you feel really weak while you're experiencing anxiety and depression. But you can come through it. You will get better. It's not always it's not an overnight journey. You can't do it overnight. Sometimes you think you've healed and then you'll have another bout of it. But you will get there. You're so much stronger than you give yourself credit for, okay? There is light at the end of the tunnel. Know that the angels are supporting you. You have their support 100% and they want you to get through this. You're experiencing all the rubbish in your life and what you're dealing with now for a reason. Don't let it keep pulling you into the past. Face it. Don't hide from it, okay? It is really hard to do. From the bottom of my heart, I know it's really hard to do. And when you're dealing with it, you'll look in the mirror and be like, I don't even recognise myself, but you will get yourself back. You will find that spark again and you will be you. And as I'm saying that, that song from The Greatest Showman, I Am Me, is coming in. And you really are. Stand strong. You've got that inner strength. You can do it. There is support available to you. Know there is light at the end of the tunnel and you're not alone. I got through it and you can too. Know that the angels are with you. Thank you very much for joining me. If you want to know more information about the work I do, whether it's through readings, mentoring or coaching, please visit therainbowoflight.com. Take care, folks. Bye.